3/4 of the NFL season are complete. What works in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Throwing, Jones. This is Gordon on the dump off. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
And they'll use him out in the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. They'll run. This is Melvin Gordon. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating? The guys who just gave up that play.
Now Jones. He's going to let one fly for Tate. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jones. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers are going to get possession here as they force the opening drive turnover. Well, it's no secret he's had trouble this year with interceptions, and this is a bad start for him. First drive, throwing another pick.
No matter who's broadcasting his game, that's how the conversation begins. Throwing too many interceptions. Can he take care of the football? If I were his backup, I'd be edging towards the coaches and saying, hey, how about giving me an opportunity?
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Love going to give this one to Jones. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. A gain of 4 last play. They double that here and get 8. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
Now the all-time leading rusher at nearby Boston College, A.J. Dillon. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Switching things up, they'll throw it now with Jordan Love. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
They certainly thought they had him surrounded and probably thought they were going to get him on the ground and get the sack, but he was able to elude that. And even though it threw it incomplete downfield, if you're a defensive back, you're loving the pressure that you're seeing from your front.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. To pass, here's Jordan Love. And that nearly an opening drive INT, but it does fall incomplete. Not the way he wanted to start this ball game as it brings up 4th down. And that one will be no good. He never had it on line. It's well wide to the left, and this will remain a scoreless game.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Well, maybe that'll help him settle back into a groove after the interception on the first drive here, picking up the first to start drive number 2.
And it is just starting over, isn't it? Sometimes it's just how you have to do it. You have to erase things from your mind. Don't worry about what happened before, because over the course of a game, the good players, things turn out pretty well for them, and that's what he's trying to do here.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. Off the play fake, Jones. This throw incomplete, nearly picked off. And with his pedigree, he doesn't drop many of those. But third down coming up. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Looking to throw, Jones. That's Cordero Patterson hauling it in. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line.
I'm not sure that was necessarily a safety valve or a check down throw on third down. Sometimes just try and find the open guy and get him the ball. He did exactly that and found a way to pick up a first down.
Escaping the pressure right. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Different pass rushes are designed for different things. Sometimes you want to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Sometimes you want him to flush. I don't know exactly how this one was designed, but they made sure they moved him to his right. He got out of the pocket. Unfortunately for him, he was hit as he tried to throw the ball, and that resulted in an incompletion.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver, and it'll bring up third down. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. Well, for whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when an ex-defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described. Footwork, that led to the incompletion.
And he missed it. It's no good. And this will remain a scoreless game.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
A 2nd and 10 on a chilly, snowy December day, and I must say, I'm loving it. Kind of putting me in the holiday spirit. Charles hates it. He's giving me the evil eye, folks. And not much of an opening there, as he's only going to get this to about the 32. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves him with 3rd and 9 looming. Love looking to throw it. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
That certainly looks like nothing to show now from these first 2 possessions. And guess what? When you're on a losing streak, that can lead to a full sense of, here we go again. So on the sidelines, the offensive play callers, quarterback, they've got to get together and dial something up to start their next drive. Otherwise, it could be a long game.
And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. It's a 45-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Patriots take over. New England with a first down as they begin the drive. Now, they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he takes it down deep into Green Bay territory. A big play there for New England. The thing that hurt on that play, the missed tackle, that allowed the extra yardage.
It's a matchup game in the NFL. You get the guy that you want isolated, have him miss a tackle, and off you go.
Jones throw complete here to his receiver, Brown. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. Just they move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
Don't get nervous. Right here. Mike 51. And let's pin the mirrors back and go forward.
Jones now from the gun on third down toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches. Back to throw. Jones into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. He's at the 50, the 30, 10, 5, and into the end zone. It's a pick six and a Packer touchdown. So they go on 4th down. Not only do they not get it, it turns into 6 points the other way. Disastrous.
And many people think you should just go ahead and knock it down in that situation. Turn it over for the offense. But I had a defensive coordinator recently tell me, we see that as a passive play. We don't do that anymore. We want the ball in our hands, and we want to head the other way.
It's probably also instinct a lot of times. If you see a lot of green grass ahead of you, go ahead and grab it.
It's the exact right play to do. That's knowing when to break the rules and when to make a play that maybe you hadn't been taught.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And Patterson not going to return this. It'll come out to the 25. The Pats at the line ready to go. And following the pick six, and they had decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take...
And he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there, because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space. Now Jones on 1st and 10. And he's got his man in stride, complete. Oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble. And the Packers pick it up. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line.
You know I love football. You know I love the game.
I hope so.
But nighttime in December, you know I'm wearing multiple coats. So I just wonder about the guys on the field with all the great gear that they have. Do they have enough on, or do they have too much on? Because sometimes that can affect you trying to carry the ball.
Now a 1st down carry by Jones. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. They wind up losing a couple there, so they go behind the original line of scrimmage, and now 3rd and 11 coming up.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score 7, Patriots nothing.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Throwing. Love. Caught by Cobb. And he will not get what he needed as he stops short of the 1st down at around the 22. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. It's a 39-yard attempt, right hash. And Crosby puts it through, and the lead moves to 10-zip. So that one on target, and it adds to this first-half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about 1-score lead, 2-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
On the return, here's the dangerous Cordero Patterson. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
Patriots take over 1st and 10.
New England with a first down as they begin the drive. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
And now this pass brought in by Brown. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
Second and 2 at the 44.
From the 44, Jones under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Chris Barnes gets him for a loss of 10 yards from his linebacker spot. Work now for Jones and the Patriots here after the sack. It's 3rd and long. Oh, Jones has just thrown his 3rd interception. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And the Packers are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And they, of course, coming into this one in the midst of a tough losing streak. They did get helped out by the open week last week, and in talking with him, all indications were, Charles, that was a very helpful break.
Yeah, I know a lot of teams, coaches, they hate taking time off in the midst of a losing streak because they think they have to stay on their toes and punch their way out of it. But occasionally, you get that open week, you step back, evaluate what's been going wrong, see what you can put in that can move you forward, and maybe you get a chance to breathe a little bit and kind of start over.
The Packers on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Love now. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, they came up with points in their first 2 possessions, but it looks like they'll come up empty here on their 3rd drive. The defense finally starting to get locked into them a little bit. Might have to go a little bit deeper into their playbook on their next possession.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. This is taken at the 18. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. The Pats at the line, ready to go. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Steps away to his left. The ball comes out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. He's thankful right now for that sideline because it could have been a fumble loss, instead just a fumble, though they will have to punt it down.
You're right about that, but do you think there's ever been a player happier to see his own punter go on the field than him?
No.
I mean, not at all, right? How fortunate is he that they got a chance to punt it away, and it's not just a turnover at the spot.
And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that,
yeah,
right?
He said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down.
That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room. If you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
Yeah, didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Love. He gets this to Davante Adams. And he's going to get this from the 6 out to the 12. A pickup of 6 as they double their workspace. The Packers on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll try and run for it with Jones. Oh, he's got a little daylight. There he goes right side. The 40. 20. 10. 5. Touchdown, Packers. You think about the great running backs in the game today. I don't know if Aaron Jones is a name that comes immediately to mind, but it should, evidenced by that run there. The point after, no gimme in the snow, but it's up and good. And that makes our score 17-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. Now it's Patterson. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. New England with a first down as they begin the drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Jones on first down. He sets to fire deep. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
They've had multiple opportunities on offense and still haven't scored any points. Felt like they wanted to loosen things up, throw it downfield, and see if maybe they could get a big play and a quick strike.
Flushed out right. And he'll just get rid of it. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
And this one incomplete. And another throw that really could have been, maybe should have been intercepted. That would have been number 4. Instead, it's 4th down. And the punter Bailey on now as he sends this one away. 46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. And the Packer drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And they had to go the length of the field last time out to get into the end zone. And with this starting field position, they're going to have to pretty much do it again.
And I think the thought process going into it is, hey, if you have to be methodical, go ahead and do that. But what you really want are a couple of big plays. Eat up chunks of yardage and cut down the number of times you have to snap the football.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now, we'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action. And they'll get him down here at the 23. 119 yards rushing for him here as he starts to draw closer to a 1,000-yard campaign. Dillon now on 1st and 10. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. And this will be a Packers first down as he's got this up to the 35-yard line.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside, and so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And this one almost intercepted. Had a chance to come down with it in the end zone, but could not hang on.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
And the ball comes out. Love lost it.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
Looking here for Smith downfield. And that is incomplete. Oh, he did everything but hold on to it. But a nice play defensively, and now it brings up 4th down. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. 35 yards that time on the punt. And the Pats will be backed up deep to get the drive started as they take over 1st and 10. The Pats at the line ready to go. And they'll begin inside their own 10, so field position certainly. And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety. So we've come to halftime here with the visiting Packers out on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
You'd have to imagine, given the snowy condition, lots to talk about at halftime for these two coaching staffs. Plenty of decisions to be made for this second half for sure. And for the call, we hand it back over to Brandon Gaudin.
Indeed, Coach. Thanks very much. And that snow you alluded to showing no signs of stopping, at least in the foreseeable future. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Loving the Packers now with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. And he'll begin the drive with a give to Jones. And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. Call it a gain of a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
On 3rd down, here's Jones. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot has been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. Rolling to his right. And the ball comes out. Love lost it. Well, if these guys wanted to get back in this game, they needed an almost perfect second half. And down 3 scores, a lost fumble here certainly doesn't fit into that plan.
Well, it reminds me of my plan in college to get an A on the papers I turned in, but that didn't work out too well either. Too many mistakes by both of us. I mean, that's just pure and simple. And that's why that's exactly where they are in this ball game. They're going to need a huge turnaround if they want to try and win this one. One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
On third down, Love. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. This will wind up a loss on the play, and it'll be fourth down. On now is the Packers punter, as he's on to punt for the fourth time tonight. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. A pretty good punt, but a nice 13-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. New England with a first down as they begin the drive.
Everyone, 37 is the Mike. Mike 37.
Throwing to start the drive. Jones. Caught right side, Tate. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving. Now Gordon on first down. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. 13 yards remaining on second down. Off play action. Jones. Buying time to his left. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A nice job of eluding the pressure there, scrambling for 11.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up. 60 bicep, 60 bicep. Back to 60.
Here's Jones on 3rd and 2. He's got Smith here. And he's got some space here. Touchdown. Jonnu Smith, his first touchdown on the year. And the Patriots make some inroads here on that deficit. Extra point splits the uprights, and they're able to cut this deficit down to 12. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. Now the return. Here comes Randall Cobb. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
On 2nd and 7, Love. Caught on the right side by Adams. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you?
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. 143 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. Love, they go play action now. And this is thrown to the sideline. No receiver in the area, though, and that's going to bring out a flag. Clearly wasn't outside of the tackle box. There's your penalty.
And accompanying that penalty, a loss of down.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. Off the option, it's Jones. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Out of the shotgun, it's Love. Gonna throw right side here, complete. And he's gonna be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped the yard or two short, and it's 4th down. It's a quarterback sneak. Yeah, they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. Probably helps your confidence level on those 4th down sneaks to have a quarterback as tall as he is.
Yeah, you're talking about being able to extend at the end and make sure the ball gets to the 1st down marker, but also he has to be able to drop his hips and get down behind that offensive line in order to move forward, because if he just runs it straight up and down, you and I both know that they'll snap him backwards. Well done there, well executed.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Play action this time with Love. And it's complete to Adams. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. And Charles, with that completion, I'm told that puts him now over 3,000 yards passing on the campaign.
And Brandon, I think we have to start to think about where we are in the season, because right now, 4,000 is not out of the question. I think a big game or two, he's certainly capable of getting that done.
It was Jason Pierre-Paul who was able to get him down. Well, no doubt here in the 4th quarter, this is a huge defensive series.
Hey, they can read the scoreboard. They realize if they give up a field goal here, this game might be out of reach. They understand the stakes and are playing accordingly.
And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Jones. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky. So stuffed from the 2, now what?
You know me pretty well. What do you think I want here?
Play action?
Definitely. Let him get outside and create. And if he has to run it, he has a little bit more space.
And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice.
And he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. His 5th rushing touchdown on the year, number 9 overall. And the Packers look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Extra point up and good by Crosby. And that will make this a 19-point game. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. Now it's Patterson. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
The Patriots take over 1st and 10 at their own 24.
The Pats at the line, ready to go. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. This would be their 3rd straight defeat. Eluding the pressure right. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. They could not contain Kenny Clark as he gets home for the sack.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And that one almost intercepted. Boy, he's got 2 already, nearly a third, but not to be, and it's 4th down. The Patriots send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And this will be down by a member of the kicking team just outside of the 30-yard line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. In this game, it could very well turn out to be the shocker of the weekend. Not too many expecting them to come in here and win, and they're not just winning, they're dominating, and now trying to finish this one off. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
At the 34-yard line.
Again, it's Jones. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. 160 yards rushing for him now as his big night continues.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people have pointed out to me, this is a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. Pretty nice, aggressive run there before being brought down just inside of the 30. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively.
Well, I don't think there's any question, Brandon, at this stage, the stop troops, the defensive guys, they got to use their 3 timeouts here. They've got to stop them and get the ball back.
Yeah, if you're in that 2 to 3 score deficit window that they're in now, you got to get it ASAP.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Stop them, use your timeouts. Easier to move the ball on offense without timeouts than to stop them on defense without using them.
And out of bounds right around the 20. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down. A quick throw out to Adams on the perimeter. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a 2-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more 1st down to help salt this one away. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. Now Jones. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll try again with Jones. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. Now the Patriots will use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just 70 seconds left to go in the game. Love, this is 3rd and goal. Got a man open, it's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Davante Adams his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Packers add on to their lead. And now it appears that the referee's been buzzed, and we'll get a review. And this being inside 2 minutes of play, everything coming from up above. Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through. And that will bump the lead up to 26. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. Now it's Patterson. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. New England with a first down as they begin the drive. This one certainly has not gone according to script. You would have thought on paper that this offense would have its way here, but they certainly have not, and they trail big. After this, it figures to be a quiet trip home. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now, because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get...
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. He's going to let it fly. He's got a man complete. The Patriots will take their third and final timeout, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the ball game. So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. He's going deep for Brown. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far, and 2nd down.
Similar to a shooter in basketball, just connected on the previous shot. They run another set for him on the next play. Now, we had a guy who made the catch. They tried to get the big one downfield, but came up empty.
He's going to let one fly for Tate. Touchdown, Patriots. Auden Tate, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Patriots get a score closer. So the Patriot offense stays out there, and they'll line up and go for 2. One final shot. They'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll get in, and they're going to draw themselves 2 points closer. And that was the old QB one-man band play there in the conversion.
And look, let's face it, even quarterbacks who don't have great mobility, in certain situations, they're able to actually take the ball in themselves. Remember way back when Joe Namath against the Giants at the Yale Bowl, right? Remember Joe had all those knee operations. They thought he couldn't run it. No one accounted for him. He practically walked into the end zone.
Down to a knee goes Love, and that should be the final act of this football game. So it's all over. A Green Bay victory, and despite the cold, despite the snow, this one was fun to watch, and I want to thank you for bringing 2 things, the space heater and the hot chocolate. Those were a big help for us here in the booth.
Yeah, just so you know, in the future, get your own space heater. Okay, I'm an only child. I don't share very often. But this had to bring out, like, the 12-year-old in us, didn't it? I mean, to be able to watch this, and let's face it, when you were that age, you didn't come inside until Mom screamed, "Get inside now, young man," because you wanted to be out there just time, and actually you almost forgot just how cold it was. I'm sure these guys didn't, but they ended up playing just like those 12-year-olds and getting it done.
So for Green Bay, the win is their 5th of the year as they move to 5-8, and they'll return home next week to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, for the Patriots, you wonder what this will do to their playoff prospects as they fall to 8-5. And they'll look to get back on the beam next week as they host the Pittsburgh Steelers.